It's just us having fun.
I know.
It's just us here at the office.
Drinking.
Water. Hi everyone, Faby Gonzalez, Coldwell Banker West, and you're watching Good Day Chula Vista. And I'm here with one of my good friends, and we're gonna be talking about how to use your struggles as stepping stones for good things. So stay with us because you will definitely learn something today. And we're back. So I have my wonderful friend Sal Aguilera here with us.
Hey guys.
So Sal, I know you very well.
Yes.
And
many years.
I love you a lot. You
Likewise.
know that. But tell our viewers about you. Tell us who you are and what you're about.
Well, I'm Sal. Actually, I met Faby years ago. We worked at the same company, totally different careers, right? Right. And, just over time, it's funny how things kind of come back. And, when I started doing real estate and I started working at another company and, worked with Faby there. And then she left, went to another company, and then I followed. And then she left that company and where we're at now. And here we are again together.
Here we are again together for so many years.
Many years, yeah.
Yeah. And Sal, so tell us about you. Besides, about work, like what is Sal about?
What am I about? It's funny. A lot of people have this misconception about me. Like they're always like, because our lifestyle, our career, we're always on the go. We get invited to so many events, networking events. We're with clients all the time. We're surrounded by people all the time.
Yes.
We deal with different personalities and, with our friends and our clients and our family members. But me, at the end of the day, I just like to relax. I like to be alone. Like, okay, everybody, I turn everything off. I turn off my phone.
Right.
I just chill at my house. I like going to the beach a lot. And obviously I love work, but it's always a balance between work, family, and I love to travel, as you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're single.
Yeah.
Okay. He's single, guys. Okay. So let me ask you, how many years have you been doing real estate, Sal?
Well, real estate, I'm going on like my 10th year.
Mm-hmm.
I got my license back in 2007, when the market crashed.
Right.
And actually, you had got your license a little bit before I did, right? I think, how many years did you have?
I got it in 2003, at the end of 2003.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had it for like 4 years.
Yeah, and so then I just, would follow Faby and see what she was doing. And it was always in the back of my mind. I'm like, you know what? That sounds like an interesting career. Maybe that's something I would like to do. And I went for it, quit my job. I was a manager and went into real estate and started off part-time. And at that time, when I got my license, it was probably the worst time to get your license because that's when the market crashed.
Yes.
And I have a belief that I got my license and then the market crashed because of me.
They were just waiting for you
I know
to
they're
join.
waiting. No, actually, no. People say that, and when I started telling my friends and family members, like, hey, I'm going to be going into real estate, everyone was like, what, are you crazy? It's not a good time. The market's horrible and all this. But to me, it was actually the best time to get into real estate.
Yeah, because if you could do it then
exactly.
you could do it any other time, right?
Right. And I mean, Faby was like, at that time, she was a short sale queen. She had so many listings. She knew so much about real estate and people, losing their homes and, foreclosures and everything. That's when I got in. And so I learned a lot. And, now fast forward to where we're at now, 2019, where the market is great. The real estate market is great. We have a lot of past clients that have equity that are looking to upgrade or downsize. So things are good.
Database.
Yes.
A big database. Guys, we're going to be talking about like some good stuff. So hopefully you can share this video to your page. And you know what? Can we forget to share it to Sal's page, his personal page, so his friends can see it. But hopefully they're joining us. But share the video, give us your comments, participate, let us know, how you use your struggles to benefit you. And let us know where you're watching us from, because at the end of the show, we're going to do a drawing and we're going to give out 2 gift cards, okay? So
Make comments. We love comments, questions, advice. And we want to begin by saying this topic we're going to talk about, it's a great topic. It's something everyone goes through, sometimes on a daily basis. We're not experts. We're not psychologists.
No.
Although that was my major in college. Thank you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my major was psychology, and I don't know how I ended up getting a real estate license.
Well, you know, realtors are psychologists, therapists, attorneys,
We're your best friends. You know, we give you advice. It's actually, no, I take that back. You know, that actually did help me in this type of work that I'm in. But we want to stress that we're here to share about our experiences and what we went through. And we welcome you to share your experiences and what you went through. And obviously, we're not experts, like I said. And we do recommend, however, you know, that if you do need help and, you know, about the topic we're going to, you know, talk about today, that you do reach out to professionals, right?
Right, definitely. We are not professionals. So the reason I wanted to ask Sal to be here with us is because since, you know, you heard we've known each other for many years, and he's one person that I know that it doesn't matter how bad it is or what's going on around. I think that's why we were such good friends. It's because we always saw the good in everything. And, you know, it sounded silly to a lot of our friends, like, oh my God, stop it with your positivity. You guys are annoying, because it got to the point that, you know, we probably got annoying because everybody was going through so many struggles when you started in this career. And, you know, we were dealing with foreclosures and people losing their homes and then not having enough money because you wouldn't get paid for like a year in one of those transactions. So we had to like kind of survive with no paycheck. But yet we always made it a point to only focus on what was going good instead of focusing on what was going bad. So our struggles we think that our struggles are just stepping stones to our spiritual growth, and they get us to what we have been asking for. And I truly, truly believe that. So one of the things that Sal and I were talking about is, let's first talk about how can you look at your struggles so they're not working to your benefit? Like what would be, but when are our struggles not working to our benefit and they're more like working against us? What do you think?
Well, you know, Faby, it's interesting that you asked me this. But going back to what you said earlier, I'm a firm believer in always looking for the silver lining. You know, there's always something there. And I think everything we go through in life, whether it's positive or negative, we go through it for a reason. You know, and it's obviously to make us a stronger person. And if things were handed to us, you know, like if we didn't have to work hard, we didn't have to go through struggles, it would be a boring life. We wouldn't advance. We would just be there. And I think with what we go through, and what I mean by that, whether it's work-related, personal, you know, losing a job, you know, going through a divorce, you know, arguments, losing a parent, which, you know, as you know, it's been 12 days since my dad, you know, we had his funeral. And that's one of the things, you know, I really hit me, but then I remember all the good things, all the positive things that my dad taught me. So, and it's interesting because you were at the funeral and a lot of our friends, and I had people come up to me and say, you know what, you're taking this really well. Like, you know, like obviously I try not to cry in front of, you know, in front of people, but at the end of the day, we're human, you know, and it kind of hits us in different parts. But like I said earlier, it was probably one of the lowest points of my life. But then I also remember all the positive things my dad taught me about working hard, never giving up, family first, and all that. And that's what I felt. You know what? I have to be strong for my mom and my sisters, you know?
One of the things that I saw that you focused on, and I really liked it, is like, I had him all my life, and he was here 91 years.
91 years. My dad was 91.
So you found something really good to focus on. Like, okay, he was here 91 years. He had a good life, and you were saying all the positive things about it.
Right. And no regrets. And I think this is something that we should apply is as individuals, as people, is to make sure you tell your loved ones how much you love them. I mean, I know you have your sons, and I see how much love you give your kids. Always do that. And see, when my dad passed away, and it was like almost one of those things that I didn't deal with, that, oh, I wish I would have, And what I mean by that is, my dad, I would always take him out to dinner. We would go out to breakfast as a family with my mom and my sisters. We would take him to concerts. I would talk to him on a daily basis. I at least 3-4 times a day would call him just to see how they were doing. I would stop by and visit my mom and my dad. So when my dad passed on, he knew that I loved him. And he was proud of me. He was proud of my mom and my sisters. Like, it wasn't one of those things like, oh, I wish I would have told him how much I love him, or I wish I would have taken him to eat here. And unfortunately, when something like that happens, and it happens quickly, because although, yes, we could prepare for like death or something,
right?
We're really never that prepared.
No.
And when it happens, it's like, wow, there we are. We're faced with it. And it's just a whirlwind of planning, of getting things ready for the funeral services, people calling you, giving you their condolences, all these things. But at that time, it's like I really didn't have time to mourn,
right?
Because everything was going so fast. But finally, and Faby, that I love celebrating my dad's life and my mom's life. So we would always have like big parties for them, and we would have mariachis, and we would have at the Chula Vista golf course, we had like at the J Street Marina, we would have parties for my parents. Why? Because we love them, and we want to let them know how much they're loved. And once again, that's something really important, that we have to tell our loved ones how much we love them
all the time.
Yeah.
So when things happen, that you don't feel, no regrets, like
exactly.
you said. So I wrote here like one of the things, like how like not to be, so our struggles
Yes.
like that don't work against us. So one would be definitely if you play the victim, right? Do you agree?
It's easy.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I think sometimes, like for us, we're in a situation where we have to be in control of transactions, control of clients and stuff. And it's easy for us to be like, oh, play the victim, like, well, poor me,
Poor me.
Yeah.
Everything happens to me, or
Exactly.
blame others.
Or blame
like,
others.
Oh,
It's
their
easy.
fault, or...
It's not my fault the transaction's going sideways. It's the other real estate agent or whatever. Even in friendships, let's take it a step further. And sometimes when we have disagreements or with our friends or our family members, it's easy for us to feel hurt. Like,
play the
how,
victim.
how dare that person say that to me? Or, oh, did you see the way he or she looked at me?
Right.
Like, we play that victim mentality. And
so that works against
it
us.
does. It
Now,
does.
another thing is when we're negative about the situation, when
Right.
we're just pessimists.
Exactly. It's so easy. See, to me, I think it takes a stronger person to actually face the problem and really get down to it. Where sometimes, like you said earlier, people play the victim, they become negative. We start building these things in our heads, situations that might not even be like that.
Right.
And sometimes it takes a stronger person, a better person, to approach the other person and say, you know what? I want to talk to you about this,
Right.
And let's come together and find a solution.
Right. Instead of just talking about them behind their back and not really fixing the issue, just being negative.
Exactly.
The other thing I have here is, one of the things where you could use your struggles against you is when you're talking to the wrong person about it. And I can tell you, I don't have to go that far. I see that in my family. I see that here in the office.
Yeah.
Something's going wrong with the transaction. And instead of just focusing on like, okay, we're going to make it work, I see some people going around and then telling everybody cubicle to cubicle about how bad it is, about how, everybody's doing everything against them. And the other person is just like, oh my God, you know what? That happened to me too. And then now there's two people, because
we love gossip.
Yeah. So then we want to make sure that you have to be careful when there's a struggle, that really think who you're going to talk about it, because misery likes company. So if we're miserable, we're going to go talk to someone that's going to be like, oh my God, Faby, you poor thing. You want to go to the person that's going to say, you know what, snap out of it. you want to go to Karen.
Yeah. Go to
Snap
our
out of
manager.
it and get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're talking to the right person. And the other thing that will not help you is not seeking professional help.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Exactly.
like a big one.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm going to share this with you. The other day I was talking to one of my friends, and, you know, we all have problems. You know, it's a given. It's part of life. Sometimes we do get to that point where we do need a little extra help, you know, professional help. And this person shared with me that they were getting help. And to me, that was like, oh my God, that is so cool that they were able to have that trust in me to tell me, you know what, this is what I'm going through. And going back to what you said a few seconds ago, talking to the wrong people. You know what? I mean, Faby, I know I follow you on Facebook. You have like so many friends on Facebook and Instagram, and so do I. But you know what? At the end of the day, true friends in person in life, how many?
Right. How many can we
Yeah,
count?
it's like on your hand. And it's like one of those things is surround yourself with those people. Surround yourself with positive people, people that are going to help you, push you up when you're feeling down, because once again, we're human, you know, we struggle.
Yep.
And there's that time where we need that someone to, it's going to be okay,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And that's the type of people we need to surround ourselves with, because it's easy. It's easy to fall into gossip, fall into, you know, negativity. And that's something that you want to avoid. You want to surround yourself with like-minded people, people that are going to be positive, you know, family members, you know, friends, really close friends. And I am so blessed. After going through that low point of my life a few weeks ago, I had so many friends reach out to me. You know, we had breakfast. You were one of them, actually, Faby.
Thank you.
Faby and I we had breakfast. And this is how this whole idea about this show came about.
Right.
We were eating pancakes at IHOP. Shout out to IHOP. Woo, woo.
Yeah.
Dulce de leche pancakes.
Dulce de leche, yeah.
And the churros were delicious. But anyway, so we're sitting there, and to have a friend like Faby and other friends that actually sit down and we talk, and we just sometimes talk about nothing. You know, we don't talk about people. We're not there to gossip. We're not there to, you know, spread rumors or lies, but we're there to hear each other out. I have another friend that we always get together, and we call it lush time. And she knows who she is, and she better be. Is she watching, by the way?
Let me see.
I don't see her. Well, anyway.
Maybe we'll go over the names right now.
Okay. So I have a friend that she just loves to get together. You know, we go out, we have dinner, and we talk about life. We talk about our struggles and also our successes. And I love learning. That's why I was, you know, studying psychology, is I love learning about people. The reason I do is because in the process of learning about them, I learn a lot about myself.
Right.
You know, I learn from their mistakes. I sometimes, you know, I learn from, you know, or I get inspired. And that's one of the things is, especially here in our business, there's a lot of competition, right, Faby? You know, everybody wants to be number one. Like, everyone wants to outsell everyone. But to me, I use that as a positive. Like, I get inspired. You know, when I see people doing good, it's contagious.
You're like, oh my God, how are they doing it? I want to do
Yeah,
it too.
exactly.
Instead of being like, oh my God, you know, being
Hating.
against it, instead of hating, like, you know what? I always say, oh my God, don't be jealous. Like, look what they're doing and copy what you can, you know, because you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just got to follow what's working. If you see somebody happy being successful, then you want to see, what are they doing that they're so successful and so happy? I want to do the same thing. You want to get close to them and learn. So I think, Sal, tell me, we're going to go over the tips of what to do to use your struggles as a benefit or as a stepping stone. But before that, Sal, tell me about a struggle. I know right now your dad's passing it's too, you know, it just
recent,
happened,
yeah.
too recent.
Right.
But think of before and think, what is one time that you had a struggle that it was such a good lesson that you're like, oh my God, I am so glad that happened.
Yeah. You know what? When I was a manager, I was a newer manager. I was a young manager. And I had our general manager, and then there was a co-manager. And she was a little bit more experienced. She was older than I, but she had came from a totally different company where I was already with the company. Granted, I had less years in the business, But with the company, I knew the ins and outs. So I knew a lot about the company I was working for. And this particular manager was above me. And every time she would come into the store, she was just negative. She would always like fold her hands when I would talk. She would roll her eyes when I would talk. And if I was to say, for example, the sky is blue, she would be like, no, it's green. Or I would say like, oh my God, today's such a nice day. Well, what's so nice about it?
Such a hater.
She was such a hater. And I was like, why?
Because you were too happy.
I know that. And you're right. But going back to what you said earlier, and other employees started noticing, people underneath us, because I, once again, was in management. And they would always say, well, that manager, like, she wants us to do this, and we don't think we should be doing that. And I'm like, okay. So I went straight to my general manager, and I said, listen, this is what's going on. And she turned around and she said, well, what do you think needs to happen? So she was actually using it for me to grow.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? I really think that all three of us need to get together, have a meeting, and let's talk about it. Sure enough, that's what we did. And see, it was interesting because this other manager, who once again was above me, had more experience and was older than I, she went in and she was just sitting back, and she was always, never wanted to talk about things.
Defensive.
She was always had a wall. And see, that's what a lot of people do, is they build a wall.
Yeah.
Because they want to be like, I'm strong, so I'm building a wall. Well, it's interesting because once we started talking, and I spoke from the heart. I let my manager and I let this other manager know how I felt and what was going on and how it was affecting the business. And I was being honest, And then all of a sudden it came time for the other manager to speak, the co-manager. And she just started crying. Aww. And she started crying. And I'm like, I felt bad. I'm like, oh my God, why am I making her cry? At the end of the day, this is how she felt. She said, everybody likes you. Everybody favors you. Everybody wants to work with you. And nobody likes me.
So she was feeling left out.
Exactly.
And she was like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since you guys were perceiving it a totally different way, she was just lonely.
Exactly. After that, I'm not going to say, oh, it was picture perfect, She actually ended up leaving the company. Then I got her position.
But then I think you got to learn that sometimes it's not what you're seeing. There's more behind
There's more to it. And like we said earlier, it's one of those things that if you have a misunderstanding, an argument, I don't want to say fight, because I don't fight with people,
Right,
I mean, I think I'm better than that. I think I could work any problem, any issue can be worked out just by talking.
Yeah.
Dialogue, yeah. But what I was getting at is after that, I learned from it, you know what, it's better to face it. It's better to talk about it. It takes a better person to say, you know what, let's sit down and talk about it. Yeah.
Right. So you learn that even though this person is being really mean, there was good inside her.
There was, yeah.
So she was just going through a tough time and feeling left out, and that's how she reacted.
Right.
So I think that a lot of us go through that, and we think somebody hates us and they're doing all this against us. And I think, sometimes that struggle needs to happen. So like you had to come up with the solution, and then you ended up finding yourself that you had it all wrong.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Never assume. And
never assume.
Never assume. Whether it's at work, whether it's a misunderstanding with a friend or a family member, is never assume. Pick up the phone, call them. I think texting.
Yeah, texting, you don't hear the emotion, so you can be misread.
Call them and say, you know what, I think we need to talk. Let's go and have dinner or lunch or coffee, and let's talk about this. Let's make it work. Because text, like you were saying, Faby, it could be misinterpreted. Yeah, definitely. All it takes is a capital letter, an exclamation point, and then the other person gets insulted. And I think when you're talking face to face, it's better because you see the emotion. You see, exactly. Yeah.
I used to tell Vero, because Vero, she's always very loving and excited. So she used to always do, if she was super excited, 3 exclamation marks. But then sometimes I would be like,
why is she mad?
I'm like, why is she mad? And I'm like, please don't do that with our clients. And she was like, oh no, but I meant yes. I'm like, yeah, but they don't understand. So now she's like, she finally got it. And text, people don't always read it that way. So you want to be careful with that. So for me, I'll tell you how something that I thought was a really bad situation that happened to me. ended up being something that totally transformed me to be happier. And it happened not that many years ago. It was like a couple of years ago. I left this company and I was given an opportunity that I was going to be part owner of another company and a partner, and it seemed like the money was going to be really good. Obviously, I was devastated of leaving our broker because I love Peter and Yvonne. We all do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I left, and because of that opportunity, when I left, things didn't go that well for me. Things started just not going well. I was not happy, and it was not what I thought it was going to be. And I remember telling my coach, because I was coaching with Tom Ferry, and I was telling my coach, like, oh my God, like, what did I do, right? And I remember before I left, I used to write down, like, okay, no, this is good. You know, it's going to be good for me. It's going to be good for my company. I'm going to grow. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to be part owner. So when it didn't work out, I remember talking to God and saying, like, why? Why did you let me leave if it wasn't going to be that good, if you knew this was going to happen? And then I wasn't getting a call from Peter to come back. You know, he was still kind of hurt, so he was not calling. And then finally one day I saw Karen at church, and she ended up talking to me, and I had like little door open, and I'm like, this is it, I'm going in that door. So Karen wanted to talk, and I ended up being able to have them ask me to come back, because I was a little afraid to ask. You know, we get a little intimidated, so I was waiting for them to ask me. So when I came back with no ego, you know, because
Right.
I realized, and I didn't see that before, you know, my entitlement was huge. My ego was big, and I didn't see it. You know, I was a number one. We didn't have all the big agents that we have now. So I was blessed to have been number one for a couple of years. But you know what? It gave me a sense of entitlement. I was not even appreciating everything this company was doing for me. Karen, you know, the managers, Peter, they were doing so much for me. But my entitlement didn't let me see it, didn't let me feel the joy that these things were actually given to me, that how valuable they were. So when I left and I didn't have any of that, and I ended up having to come back and leave my ego behind and having to face everybody and all the rumors, and like, oh my God, you didn't do good, right? So now you're back. And I was like, yeah, you're right, it sucked, and I wanted to come back, right? So that, losing my ego, losing that entitlement, finally I was able to see what a big office they had given me, and I had it all those years.
Right.
I was able
You
to
appreciate it.
I appreciate it. So that struggle, all that money that I lost, all the pain that I went through, all the nights that I was crying because I was so confused, it was actually, I think, God working in my life to tell me, I'm sorry that I'm going to put you through that, but I'm going to put you through that so you can leave that ego, so you can lose that entitlement, because I want you to be happy, because I'm giving you so much through these people and you don't even see it. So that struggle and all that money that I lost that year, and it wasn't even like a whole year, I see it that it was a step, it was God the whole time.
Right. There's
Even
a
though
reason behind everything.
there was a reason, and I came back out of it stronger. Even though I had no ego, I am stronger. You know, because sometimes you think the ego is going to make you stronger,
No.
but actually I'm stronger spiritually, so I can put up with a lot more, because I can always see now that there's something positive behind any struggle.
Correct.
So that's what happened to me. Let me see who's here.
Let's see.
Who's
Who do
here?
we know?
Okay, so you want to see the names and say
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Erica.
We have Sal, Ray, Carolina,
Luis.
Luis, where's he?
Right there.
Luis Isais, and then who's there?
Nayat.
Hey, how are you? Everybody is, who's that?
Is Karen watching?
Karen, she's always there.
I
Karen's
know.
there. You'll see her comments
Yes.
there. Good day, Chula Vista. We have Eric Duval. We have Jeff. We have Merab. We have Betsy. Sergio Palomino. There's Karen. Super Sal. He's awesome.
Yes, he is.
Merab. Tough times. I know Merab. She
yeah.
lost her son also recently.
Aw.
So she's been also going through very hard time. Sal being the greatest support for his family. Yes, you are.
Eileen is there.
Eileen.
Sergio. Hey, Sergio.
There's Jenny. Well, there's Letty Hueso. Summer. There's Summer. Great energy. Okay, so let's see. Betsy Ramirez, Marta Garcia. Hi, Marta. Thank you for joining us.
Adrian's there, my friend.
He's there. Hi, Adrian.
Hey.
Okay, so what? So now we're gonna give you some of the tips that can help you see a struggle like a blessing and help you like get through it. So one of them is to be grateful. Do you think gratitude helps you?
Super, super important to be grateful. Grateful for what you have. And that's one of the things, you know, going back to what you said earlier, is sometimes we don't appreciate what we have until we lose it. And I'm a firm believer in appreciating the little things in life, you know, like your friends, your family members, the fact that we have a place to call home, a car to drive, food to eat, all that, because we get so caught up in our lives that sometimes we don't take the time to say thank you to God.
Yeah, we feel we're just entitled to have
Exactly. Yeah. And then, we see other people, that have less than us, and it's like, wow, it's mind-boggling,
Right. Then you appreciate. So being grateful is something that is definitely going to help you with any struggle that you have. So any struggle that you have, like Sal is saying, look at somebody else that's going through something worse and say, you know what? Thank you, God, that I am not going through that I'm going to be able to fix this, or that I'm going to get through it. Or, you know what? Thank you, God, that I'm here. Even though that I'm going through this struggle, I'm here, I'm alive.
Exactly.
So I'm still here. The other one would be number 2.
Look at the whole picture and think long term.
So how would you explain that? Look at the whole picture and think long term.
Yeah. I think sometimes when we're going through something negative or a struggle, we get so caught up in the moment. We get so caught up by, once again, playing the victim, feeling hurt, that we don't really think of the big picture. We don't think of what am I going to get out of this? Once again, the silver lining in the clouds. What's going to come? And I think you brought up this analogy about the butterfly.
Yes.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
So,
are you playing the quotes, Adrian?
Yeah. Okay. So, obviously,
we have one for the butterfly. Do you see it?
I already played that one.
Oh, you played? Okay. Do you want to put it up again?
Put it up. So, a butterfly, and even, us people, we go through a lot, We start off, really tight, and then we go through changes in life, and then all of a sudden we emerge a better person, like a butterfly does.
Right.
Yeah.
I was reading, there was, somebody was, I think I read it on Facebook, that somebody had helped, they had all these cocoons, and they were, like, this butterfly was struggling to get out of the cocoon, and somebody wanted to help the butterflies, and they ended up cutting the cocoon for them. So because of that, they didn't go through this exercise that they need to do to open the cocoon. The butterflies couldn't fly anymore. So they ended up not being able to fly it, and eventually they died. So just like the butterflies, it's important that they go through that process to come out of there, because they are going to need that strength to be able to fly.
Right.
So I think it's the same with us. We go through the struggle, we come out stronger, because we are going to need that strength for like a big blessing that's coming ahead.
Right.
But you need to have, what do you need to have for that?
You need to have bumps and struggles along the way, but you also, faith, very important.
Yes.
Practice faith. It's very important. There's a higher power. We're here for a reason. Yeah.
Right.
It's not like just, accidentally we're here. We're here for a reason. So it's important to have faith.
You have to believe in something.
Yeah.
You got to have faith that everything, if you look back to your life, everything that seemed like a struggle got better.
Right.
And then when you think about it, think, okay, this happened, and this is how I got here because I went through that. But you need to have faith. It's only going to make it better. You're still going to make it. You're still going to survive the struggle. But it's up to you if you get to enjoy it, and if you get to grow with it, and if you get to take advantage of this struggle and actually enjoy it and be happy with it. But you need to have faith to do that. There's so many ways to have faith, and if any of you struggle with not having faith, there's so many books out there. There's so many videos, but definitely grow your faith, because you got to have faith in something. I'm not saying, it's got to be God, it's got to be whatever you're going to have your faith on. Just have faith, because that's really going to help you through the struggles. What is the last one, the number 4?
Number 4, accept your mistakes and adjust your behavior.
What do you think of that?
Whoa.
How do you do
Well, I know some people that think they know it all and they never make mistakes. So, no. But no, it is. I think going through mistakes and, if you think about athletes, and I was reading some quotes and Adrian's playing them as we go along, is like, for example, when a athlete, when he's practicing, shooting, hitting the ball, they're not going to hit every single ball,
Right.
And, it's one of those things that they have to make mistakes to learn from it. And that's why we have coaches. That's why we have friends. That's why we have mentors in our lives to help us out. Because once again, if it was easy, if life was easy, we wouldn't grow. We wouldn't become the person we are today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Karen is saying you can always look up or look down. It's our choice.
Right.
So I think it's true. You want to look down and just say, you know what, I could be down there, but here I am. And you can also look up and say, like, this is where I want to get.
Yeah.
Make it a positive thing. Anything that happens, look at the long-term result. Don't think, okay, I want this to work right now. Think there's a reason that it's not working. Maybe you're going to figure out a way to work it out, and that's going to take time. But at the end, you're going to learn something.
You emerge a better person.
Exactly. And it's going to help you in the future for something good that's going to come up, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So Karen, what did Karen say? Because Karen is always making all these funny comments sometimes. And because it's you here.
Karen is the word, the wisdom.
There's somebody here that it says that it's here for you. Let's see. Betsy Ramirez. No, Karen. Betty. Sita?
See.
Okay.
Betty. Lush time with Betty. She's watching. I saw that.
Oh, you saw it? Okay.
Yeah, she's a good friend. She's another one of my good friends, and Adrian's on here too. And actually, I was having dinner with Betty last week, and then I had dinner with Adrian on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And, we just started talking about, once again, life,
Right. Life that is so short.
Yes.
We just lost our Nanette also.
Oh, yes. Love Nanette.
One of the things, like you're saying, I was just telling Vero today, we lost one of our, she was a really good friend. She was also our transaction coordinator, but she was a very loving person. And she made it really easy for you to say, I love you to her.
It is.
So she would always be like giving you these hugs and saying, I love you. And
she was always laughing, positive energy, just that laugh that was so contagious. And, and even when she would refer to us, I'm sure, she didn't call me Sal. She called me friend. Hey, my friend.
Yes.
Hey, my friend.
Yes.
And to me, that made me feel really special. And it just goes back, she had that great energy, and, we're going to miss her a lot. But to me, it's a blessing that I was able to meet and talk. And
that every time you talked to her, it was good.
It was good. And she was also my transaction coordinator for quite a while. So
right. Yeah, we are definitely going to miss her. But I feel good that I was able to tell her I love you until her last day that I spoke to her, which was last Thursday. And when I think back, I was like, oh my, every email had a heart. Every email had a little kiss. That's just how she was. So I think that's the way we should live our lives, like being that way all the time, because, she didn't expect to be gone that day.
Yeah.
She was going to go to work. So we have to be ready every day. We have to be happy every day. We have to use our struggles as stepping stones.
Right.
So if you guys have something that you guys want to share, and a struggle that you went through and you actually came out of there stronger, make sure you write it in the comments, because people go back to these videos and they read the comments. So share it with us, because you never know who you're helping when you're sharing. And a lot of us, we do share a lot of things, but I know there's a lot of my friends that they know so much and they could help so many people just by sharing what they've been through.
Right.
But sometimes they're a little intimidated, right?
Right. I mean, even like, I know when I go through what I went through and what, on a daily basis, a struggle at work or something, it's easy to fall into negativity. And sometimes it's something as simple as acknowledging someone at the grocery store, smiling, cashiers. And it's funny because you engage, and, it's, I think, a human nature for us wanting to engage and talk to people. Because you never know. We go through so much. You never know how bad. You think you're having a bad day or we're having a bad day. there's somebody out there that's having a worse day, and all it takes is a hello or how are you doing today, engage, talk to them. You never know. It can make a huge difference.
Right. We have Betty say, Isa says, hola tío.
Isabela, ¿cómo estás?
Hola tío Sal.
Hola.
Oh, was that your niece?
Yeah. She's, it's funny because and Fabi, you were just saying this, how time goes fast. I was going through some old pictures, and there was a picture of Isabela when she was like so tiny, and now she's like so tall, and I was like, oh my God, where did this time go,
I saw Peter's daughter today.
I know.
And I was like, I didn't even think it was her. I thought she was a new agent. I'm like, oh my God, sweetie. And then I told Summer, oh, we're getting old. She's already probably dating. Yeah. Sorry, Peter.
Peter's about ready with the gun.
Peter is like, she's not allowed to date. Just kidding. Okay, guys. Well, hopefully you guys got some tips here. Hopefully, if you're going through something, you can see that it doesn't matter what happens. You can still be happy, and you can still use that struggle as a tool to get stronger, and that everything happens for a good reason. Everything. There's something good that comes out of every struggle.
Right.
Okay, guys. Well, we're going to do
raffle
a
time.
drawing. Yeah, we're going to give out two. They're a little sticky here, so they get stuck sometimes. But before we do that, I want to tell you that we have 2 listings coming up, and if you have any, you can let us know. I have a townhome in Scripps Ranch. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a really nice townhome, and it's going to be listed around in the low 500s. And then we also have a fixer-upper property here in 92113, and that one is going to be listed in the high 300s. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a fixer-upper. If you guys are interested in that, give us a call, and we'll give you more information. Do you have any listings coming up?
I do.
Tell us.
Actually, I have 2 listings coming up in Bonita. They're both single stories. Oh. And actually one of them has a pool, really nice property, and that's going to be probably the mid 6. And then another one that's also in Bonita, beautiful house. It's being renovated, and that's going to be probably around the same price. So, yeah.
Good. So. You're going to sell them really quick, like everything you list.
I hope so.
Yes. So you can let us know when you're going to have the open houses.
Yeah,
and we'll definitely share
absolutely.
it here.
I'll share it with you guys.
Okay, so let's get 2 people to get a card.
Well, I got 2. Should I put one back?
No, you can open both. You got them at the same time. Let's see.
Well, they stuck together.
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's read the first one. I like the name.
Salvador!
Woo!
Yay!
Tocayo! Salvador Ray Fregoso. Nice.
Yay, Sal.
Congratulations.
Okay, the other one.
And then the other winner is, whoa, the boss.
Karen
Vargas.
For you. Karen never wins. Karen, your lucky day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, guys, thanks.
Thank you. So hopefully you got something out of this, and we will see you next week. We have Peter.
Our boss will be here.
Peter is going to join us next week, and he's going to be talking about, he owns this big company. He owns Point Mortgage and Coldwell Banker West, and it's a huge company, and I have so many questions for him because I want to just get some
Pick his
tips.
brain.
Yeah, definitely. We want to learn from him, and, he's never been here to our show. He's always busy, but I had never asked him before because I always thought, no, he's too busy, but I asked him, and he said yes, so he's going to be here next Wednesday, so make sure you don't miss it.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. Well, if you don't have anything else to add. Betsy said something. Do you want to read it?
She said, I like to share my heart. I like to help anyone out there that is struggling with domestic violence. I lived firsthand, and I'm blessed that I made it out alive.
Good job, amiga.
Awesome.
Yay.
Yeah,
Congratulations
that's
to
awesome.
you. You know what? Thank you for saying it. Thank you for writing it, because you know what? You encourage a lot of women that are going through the same thing, and men too.
Exactly.
People think that domestic violence is only for women. It happens to men also. So thank you for saying that, because you know what? You encourage, like, you're so happy now. Like, I see your pictures, I see your postings. You're just a happy woman, and I love seeing your posts. So thank you, because you encourage many others to do the same. There's a way out. There's always a way out, and don't stay quiet. Always ask for help, seek professional help, and stick around the positive people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, I'll see you guys next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Bye.